Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Now we're here on this really cold and miserable and windy day because it's the big autumn tidy up. So the climbing French beans were never really much of a good crop this year. Because the broad beans were originally here, I think they blocked out quite a lot of the sunlight, which explains why there wasn't a large crop of French beans this year. I still managed to get quite a lot and there was a glut at one point, but obviously they didn't grow as tall as I would really have liked them to, and there were some which didn't grow very tall at all. But they were still good, and next year I'll know not to hide anything behind the broad beans, or actually make sure the broad beans don't grow as tall as I let them grow this year, because they grew to about 5 foot this year, which was way too tall. So next year I'll pinch them off before they get to 5 foot. Now they have come to an end, so I'm going to pull them all up today, put all the bean sticks down and clean it all and put it away for the winter, and then I will have to weed this area because this bed's getting very weedy. Now obviously this bed next year will be where the chickens are going, so I won't be weeding it too much. I might just dig all the weeds in, because obviously if the weeds come up again then the chickens will deal with them, so it should be quite easy once this bed's clear to just dig it all over winter and then just leave it, because then the chickens will be moving in spring. So the job for today is just to clear the climbing French beans, take all the bean sticks out and put them away, but that might take a while, so I better get started. Now the archway was a huge success. It's one of the best things that I've put on my allotment so far. It's given me more room to grow things. I mean, if this archway wasn't here, then I wouldn't have had the space to have grown the sweet peas, the climbing munchkins and the borlotti beans, so it's been really great. But unfortunately now it's looking a little bit sorry for itself with all this dead pumpkin plant on there. So the job today is to clear that all away, because all the pumpkins are gone now. I mean, there's one tiny one here now, which I might take home and leave it just to harden off on the windowsill, because it's not going to grow anymore now. But that's the last munchkin. But it's been great, and I will definitely be growing the climbing munchkin pumpkins again here, and the borlotti beans as well, because they've just been absolutely fantastic. I got overall 34 munchkin pumpkins from just having 4 plants here. So it's really, really great. And of course, it just allows you that bit more space as well, because it comes upwards. So I'll be clearing that away now. I'm a little bit upset to clear it away, just because the archway is going to look so empty and it's not going to look very nice. So I might have to hang some tea lights or some fairy lights on it, just to make it look a little bit nicer. So it's time to say goodbye to the gherkin plant as well, which is a little bit sad, saying goodbye to all these crops and saying goodbye to summer really, because it's been a really great year, and now everything's starting to look a little bit empty and a little bit miserable really. So, but there's always next year as well, so we can start planning towards that. Now the gherkin plant only produced about 4 gherkins. They were quite large ones though. I was a bit late in picking most of them, but they were really delicious, so I will actually be growing another gherkin again next year, because it's quite nice just having it in the end of the trough here. And it doesn't take up much space, and because I'm the only one that likes gherkins in my family, it's just right really. And of course the rest of this trough will be filled with flowers, because I won't be doing tomatoes next year, because the tomatoes were a little bit of a failure this year, just because of the blight, and also because I wasn't able to get up here and water them as often as I should have done really. So I'll be growing tomatoes at home where I can water them daily. And then that's the plan for the trough. So I'll be taking the gherkin down, and I'll be taking the little bit of trellis that I made and just popping it in the shed for next year. So that's another video done and dusted. Now I do apologise for not doing a video sooner. Just been a little bit busy with trying to get the chicken coop ready, so it's ready to move up here. So I will show you a little update on that before we do the end credits. And I'm not going to say that there's nothing to do up the allotment, because there's so much to do, and I have been really busy up here as well. There's getting the whole area for the coop ready. Now that I've dug it, I can get some pavement slabs, lay the pavement slabs down, and then it's a matter of building a walk-in run for the chickens. That's going to be very hectic, but I've got until spring to make it, so that's perfectly fine. Now today I've just been digging things over, tidying things up, just preparing for the next growing season, which will be starting very soon actually, because I've got some garlic to put in. Now I got these from the garlic farm on the Isle of Wight, but I will talk about them more in the next episode, because I'll be planting them out next time. I'll also be sowing some more broad beans. Now this is the variety which I grew last year. It's called Aqua Dulce, and it's very, very hardy. So last year I sowed it in November, and it came up really early, and I managed to get a nice picking of broad beans in the early summertime. So it was really, really, really good. So I'll be doing that again this year. I'll be putting 2 rows of them in, but yet again I'll talk more about that next episode, because I'll be sowing them then. And then it's just still a general tidy up. There's still so much to do. I've got to cut down the autumn raspberries, because they need to be cut down now. I also have a grapevine which I'm going to plant out, so I need to clear the wildflower patch around the pond. I also have some herbs as well, which I'm going to put in the hanging baskets here, because the cranberry bushes unfortunately died. So I'm going to put some herbs in there. So there's still so much to do. And of course I ordered some tulips from Sarah Raven, so they should be arriving in the post this week, so hopefully I'll be able to get some of them out. So yeah, it's still such a busy time of year, but I do love this time of year. It's great, and it's still relatively mild, so it's perfect weather to be out gardening. So I'm going to finish up my tea, and then I'm going to head home, I think, because now it's starting to get dark at like 5 o'clock, so that means evenings up the allotment is out of the question now. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. This is the chicken coop update, and as you can see it looks a lot different to when I last showed you all. It's had a complete coat of paint now. It's had 3 coats of paint, so it's fully protected against all the weather, and we're having a lot of rain. It's raining today actually, so I better make this quick. Did actually have a bit of trouble with the coop because it's so heavy. It's so heavy. It took 4 grown adults to move it from the bottom of the driveway up to here so we could work on it. It's just so heavy, and I had already removed the egg box and the flooring, and we still struggled to bring it up here. So what we've done is me and my dad, we made a new egg box and we put it on the side just because it's easier to get the eggs there. Now it's got a lid so we can collect the eggs. But what needs to be done is a bit of roofing felt or a bit of rubber needs to be put along the edge there, just to stop the rain from getting in, and also when you open it up sometimes the rain drips in. And it also needs a lock on the front. And that's where the chickens will lay the eggs, hopefully. Now I've also made the egg box removable so we can carry up the allotment a lot easier, because obviously it's very heavy, as I've already said, so the egg box really needs to be removed to be able to carry up the allotment. So it's just a matter of slotting it on and screwing it down the side there onto the main house. Now that's already got its flooring. What needs to be done is the main flooring needs to be cut at home so it fits in perfectly in all the slots, and then what we'll do is we'll take that up the allotment separately and screw it in place once the coop's up there. And the roosting pole needs to be made, needs to be putting along this side here. We've got plenty of headroom. And we're also going to put a little slot, a little wooden slot along the front of the egg box, so all the straw can be kept in the egg box separate away from the main coop. So there's only a few small jobs to do now. And of course a lock needs to be put on the front doors to keep them shut. But they've got plenty of ventilation there. Oh, and we need to put a bit of roofing felt along the ridge just to stop the rain getting in so it's nice and dry for the chickens. And then it will be done. So not much more needs to be done to it. And then I can move up the allotment so it's all ready for the chickens next spring.